Welcome back to another episode of Doing Football. Today, the computers are put away.
No notes.
Piece of paper, the notes are put away. We're going to talk some draft strategy, some
All
3
in the
winning
brain.
strategies for you this season in fantasy football. Before we get to that, though, Jared,
Big
drum roll.
announcement.
No, don't do it. Oh, Eddie's going to kill you.
You said
can't-
drum roll.
You had to air drum roll. We're announcing the winner of the giveaway. Fantasy Football Championship belt, the first giveaway on the channel.
Big.
For the Doing Football boys. And the winner is Chris Fisher. Chris, congratulations.
Go work.
Full-size Fantasy Football Championship belt.
Putting a lot of work
Whatever
for that
league
one.
you're in, they're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Hopefully
whatever
you win
league.
anyways, though. Anyways, make sure you drop a like, comment, let us know what you think of these strategies, and subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord as well. With this draft strategy that we're talking about, our draft guide, free to access draft guide.
Free, very free. Not very many draft guides are free.
No, exactly. Jared, where are they going to find it, though?
On our blog, ownersbox.com. Is it /blog or is it blog.ownersbox?
Yeah, it's one of the two.
One of the two.
We'll drop the link down below, too. Anyways, first side of strategy. So we're talking 3 different strategies, or 3 strategies all included
Yes.
in your draft
Use
this
all 3.
season. Let's start quarterback. Let's start with quarterback.
All right. There's 2 main parts to this quarterback strategy that we want you to utilize. The first one, most of the time, these high-end quarterbacks usually end up going in the 3rd or 4th round of one quarterback leagues. But we're noticing that guys like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray are sometimes falling to the 5th round. Guys like Dak Prescott falling to the 6th round. These are high upside guys, and they're falling that far in your one quarterback leagues. Like, I've always been a take quarterbacks late kind of guy, but if these guys are falling that far, absolutely take them. The upside they provide each week is way too high.
The separation between Mahomes and Josh Allen between that group
Yeah.
is far too much. Like,
It is.
even last season, of course, Mahomes, is right in contention for the QB1, but he played one less game last year, and he technically, in terms of total fantasy points, didn't finish at the QB1. So there's a lot of discrepancy in terms of who can finish. There's a group of guys that can all finish as the QB1, and there's a massive break between Allen and Mahomes to this group we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're getting really good value, and these guys have all the chance to be the QB1 in the season. So you shouldn't be looking to Mahomes or Allen early on, but if you're getting these guys 5th or 6th round, like Jared mentioned, we're not big
Great
QB
value
early,
there.
but it's just great value, and they're going to be sustained. They're going to have sustained point totals all throughout the season, and it's a nice feeling to be able to have that throughout the year. It's a good luxury.
For sure. And there's the second part to that. Maybe you don't want to draft a quarterback that early anyway.
Yeah.
You could also take a guy that is going in like the 10th round that has a safe floor, say like a Ryan Tannehill or Matt Stafford. They're going pretty late in drafts usually, like 9th, 10th round. Pair them with a guy who has high upside and is also going very late, like somebody like Trey Lance. Deshaun Watson, like he might not play the season, but if you can get him as late as he's going in one quarterback leagues right now, like that, he just becomes an incredible value. And you don't have to pay anything for him.
Yeah, I will say, now I'm thinking about this as we're talking, those 2 guys, maybe eventually in a few weeks, if
the news comes out
and breaks their way, then
They'll
maybe
shoot
they're
up.
not available in that spot. But then a guy like Justin Fields becomes the guy you target at the end. Pairing, the really efficient floor of guys like Tannehill or Brady or even Stafford, like we mentioned. I kind of like Jalen Hurts and what his rushing upside does.
He definitely has a high upside.
They're great options in like the 8th round, like you mentioned, and then you grab a guy like the ones Jared mentioned or Justin Fields at the end of your draft with the last pick in your 1 QB leagues, and you've pretty much covered everything there. You've covered the really high upside at the end of the draft, and then you've covered a guy that you feel is very safe and reliable,
Definitely,
week in and week out.
And the bottom line is you want to make sure in these one quarterback leagues you have somebody with high upside, because there's going to be so many guys on the waiver wire anyway. Like You're probably going to find, you might find Derek Carr on the waiver wire in some leagues, and he's going to provide you almost as many points as somebody like a Matt Stafford or Ryan Tannehill will provide you week to week. So you might as well go for the guys that have those high upside floors every week.
Yeah, and with the reports out of camp, Joe Burrow might even be a guy early in the season that might be on your waiver wire too. Plenty of good options. Kirk Cousins had a ridiculous season last year in terms of
he could easily
touchdown totals and whatnot. He'll be on your wire for sure too. Let's go from there and talk a bit about our most important part, I think, of this entire strategy side is how you handle the running back position. People say that you don't win your league in the first or in your draft. You win it throughout the season on your waiver wire, whatnot.
Just not true.
It really wasn't the case even last year. Who was the one player that I'm forgetting? James Robinson was the guy on the waiver wire that could have won you your league. But really, other than that, there wasn't a lot of game-breaking running backs that you found on the waiver wire after the draft. It's how you make your decisions in the draft. And the first 3 rounds this season are essential for you to target the running back position. It falls off a cliff after you get to around, I would say, Najee Harris. Darrell Henderson might sneak into a guy you could,
around that
you could grab.
RB18.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to have Chris Carson, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, that group of players, even David Montgomery as my running back too. If I'm looking at running back early and often, I can get a guy like Austin Eckler, and then I can pair him with someone like, if I want to be safe, J.K. Dobbins, I think, is a very safe play this year. The team has lots of running volume. I like him, but there's also DeAndre Swift, who has great upside, Antonio Gibson, who has great upside, but also, that if they're on the field, they're also going to be very safe for you. But you need to chase upside. You need to focus on the running back position in the first 2. If
Maybe
you
even
need
3.
3, if you can target one of these tight ends, which we'll get to in a bit. But in the first 3 rounds, make sure you walk away with at least 2 running backs. And for some of you, I would say in the first 5 picks, if you're picking top 5, you could maybe grab 3 studs in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like guys like DeAndre Swift and Clyde Edwards-Helaire or J.K. Dobbins sometimes fall into the 3rd round.
Yeah, we did
to
a
get
mock
those guys
last week.
that late in the 3rd, that's an absolute steal. Even if you have 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds, take a 3rd one.
Yeah,
you're going to have a flex spot anyway.
There's so much depth in the wide receiver position.
Yeah, you
we
can
mentioned
easily
this in
afford
the
it.
article. There's 32 starting running backs. There's at minimum 64 starting wide receivers on the field pretty much at all times. There's plenty of depth to target throughout the wide receiver position from rounds 4 through 8. And then at the end of the 8th, or when the 8th comes, you can grab a high upside guy like Trey Sermon, or if you want to have a 4th running back that's safe, Damian Harris could be available back there, or maybe a guy like Michael Carter comes, or Travis Etienne comes into a big season, or Javonte Williams. You could grab somebody that's a little bit has some higher upside, but doesn't feel as safe. But you've got 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah,
so you have
exactly.
nothing to worry about. So I think it's really important this year that just avoid, of course, the running back dead zone everybody talks about, but don't end up with Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson, Miles Sanders as
or
your
anyone
running
right
back
below
too.
them either.
Exactly.
And so many people talk about the RB0 strategy, the best way to win, because that's how you avoid these running back injuries. But to me, all going 0 RB does is make you like a middle of the pack team. And in fantasy football, that's not what you want. Last year, the teams that had the highest winning percentage had the 4, 5, and 6 slots in redraft leagues. Those are the teams that drafted Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. So it's the teams that draft the running backs that end up being league winners that win you your league. So you want as many opportunities to have that league winning running back as you can get.
Yeah.
That will win you your league.
Let's go to tight end, because I think we're both really on the same page, and I'm kind of passionate about how to address tight end this season.
Yes.
So we've got the clear number 1 this year in Travis Kelce. He's going, if you're drafting the back of the first round, and you're at the 11, 12 spot like you were when we did our mock, take Travis Kelce.
Yeah. He's like, if you get him this beginning of the second round, great value for him there.
Yeah. We have George Kittle. To me, George Kittle and Darren Waller are that clear they're the second tier, but they're very clearly ahead of everybody else in that second tier. You're going to find them in the second and the third. If I can get those guys at the end of the second or
Beginning
any time
of
in
the
the third, I'll take them. I'm good with taking them. I like both of them. I don't love them as much as I love Travis Kelce, but there's a reason why he's going around ahead of those guys. Now, once you pass these 3, please, for the love of God, do not panic.
Don't take anyone else.
Don't feel like I need to take Kyle Pitts here before the run starts going on tight ends. Don't feel like I need TJ Hawkinson. Don't feel like you need Mark Andrews. Relax. Let the rest of your league mates be dumb enough to take these guys in like the 4th round. If you see them later, if you see them in like the, what? Like if I saw Kyle Pitts in like
if he starts falling to the 6th round, take him. But do not draft a tight end in the 4th or 5th round. And then unless it's like Kyle Pitts, don't draft one in the 6th round either.
Yeah.
Take wide receivers there. Take a quarterback there. There's no point in drafting a tight end there because these guys going after them have almost as much upside, if not just as much upside. And like as you'll find in the draft guide, there's some guys we really like. Tyler Higbee, Adam Troutman. They're guys who could give you just as high of a ceiling as guys like Mark Andrews can give you or Kyle Pitts could give you. So there's no point in wasting that high of a draft capital pick on those guys.
Yeah, this is basic. This is how you should think about it. If I'm in the 4th round and Kyle Pitts is available, am I going to take Kyle Pitts, whose range of outcomes could be, yes, he could put together the greatest rookie tight end season of all time. He could also be running with Hayden Hurst, splitting time, having crazy, his finishes could be all over the place week to week. You could take him in the 4th, or you could probably get, Josh Jacobs, who, yes, he's not,
maybe
his upside isn't there, but
Robert Woods.
you know what you're going to see for the rest. Yeah, Robert Woods as a
Mike
wide
Evans.
receiver. It's just much more, it's self-explanatory that you take these wide receivers, or if you need to, it's a running back, that you know what the productivity to expect is barring injury. The guys that you're taking at the tight end, like Kyle Pitts, it's very hard to predict exactly what that outcome's going to be. So
I don't think people realize just how inconsistent even Mark Andrews was last season.
Yeah.
Like there was so many weeks where he just put up a few points and he was completely valueless.
That's what the tight end position is after those 3 guys. That's exactly what it is.
Those are the only 3 guys that will be consistent all the time. So if you don't get one, it's fine. Just take one very late. Don't fall into that trap.
Yeah. Even a guy like Robert Tonyan's falling a fair bit as we get closer to the season, just because people don't think that touchdown total will sustain itself this season too. But I mean, he does have the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, throwing the ball to him. So it's very possible it continues. So look at Tonyan if you're in the 10th, Higbee if you're in the 10th, and then at the end of the draft, Troutman's still there.
I don't mind Jonnu very late either. You can get him one of the last rounds.
Yeah. So, anyways, important strategy to think about for quarterbacks, tight ends, and what was the last
running backs.
and the running backs this season. So make sure you're implementing this strategy.
Use them.
It's going to win.
It's how you win
It's
leagues.
going to win you your leagues this season. We're going to win you your leagues this season. Subscribe so you can win your fucking leagues this season. Like the video if you like the strategy. Comment down below. Let us know what the next giveaway should be. That's a good idea. And other than that, see you guys next time.